Hi, everyone. Instagram as well. So, apologies, we are 3 days late for this little mini training because the first day I got a little bit tipsy and went swimming. Hi, Instagram. And the second day I was meant to do it for you guys, I was going to do it driving home from our holiday house. I was going to go live in the car while Aaron drove, and he had a headache. So I ended up driving the 3 hours home, which was okay. It was totally cool. But by the time I got home, I was just completely knackered. So I ended up going to sleep really early last night. And then today, I was like, I'm doing the live. I'm getting on to show you guys how I manifested my dream car, my white Jeep Wrangler. And I'm like, I put a movie on for the kids. And I put on, what did they choose? They chose Alvin and the Chipmunks, like the new one, The Road Trip or something like that. Oh my God, it is the cutest movie ever. I've only just, I was like, I'll sit down, finish my cup of tea, put a movie on for them. And then like half an hour later, I'm like, shit, I am really getting into this movie, Alvin and the Chipmunks. So I'm just like, no, I will sit down and watch it with them again later because I know they want to watch it again. They're watching that and I'm just stuck outside. I'm like, I finally have to do this live. I have to do it. It's because I've been enjoying the last couple of days since Christmas and New Year's. We went over to our holiday shack on Point Turton and have just spent the last few days swimming and reading. I read 3 books over the weekend, which were all amazing. But swimming, driving around in my dream car, doing a little bit of 4-wheel driving with it, learning how to drive up and down the sand hills, which is fun. This is the first time I've owned a 4-wheel drive. Normally my husband has it, so he does all the 4-wheel driving. I've never really felt confident enough, but it was like, nope, I wanted this Jeep. I have it. It's my dream car. I have to learn how to actually drive it properly and learn how to do 4-wheel drive and go up, in the tricky sections of the sand and stuff. We're actually going back over to our holiday shack in a week, and I'll be there by myself for a week while Aaron's got some work stuff on, and then he'll join us. But I'll be over there for a week by myself, so I needed to learn how to drive this 4-wheel drive properly, learn how to get it in and out of 4-wheel drive, all that type of problem-solving stuff so that I can still take the kids down on the beach where they like to play, and I'm not going to have to worry about getting stuck. So that's what we've been doing the last few days. Reading lots of books. So that's why I haven't been as active on social media. Really try to take a break every time at this point of the year, because I feel like when you're in business, this point of the year I've done 3 businesses before. So in 2 of my businesses, this is the busiest time of year. My spray tanning business and when I was doing health and wellness coaching, busiest time of the year because everyone wants to feel better about themselves. Everyone wants to get started on programs. Everyone wants a spray tan. So this time of year has normally been super hectic for me. And this year, after a hell of a year, Aaron and I both decided that we needed to take a bit of a break. So we consciously spent a lot of time off of social media. We both did a big friend list detox and everything, but I'm back into it now. I woke up this morning at 5 a.m. just really excited to get back and share with you guys, just feeling like it's right. We're 3 days late to do this little mini training on how I manifested my dream car, but we're here and it's going to be epic. So yes, I have my rainbow Legally Blonde pen. I've got my notes. I made notes on this one because I actually want to make sure I cover everything with you guys. And I am on Facebook and Instagram at the same time. So if I don't get to your comments straight away, I will, but just bear with me. So my dream car and how I manifested my dream car. My dream car was a white Jeep Wrangler. The first time I remember ever seeing a white Jeep and thinking, oh my God, that's so awesome, was watching Clueless as a little girl. The one with Alicia Silverstone. We've all seen Clueless. If you're a female watching this, you've definitely seen Clueless at some point in your life. Ants. I'm sitting outside, there's ants everywhere. So I saw Clueless. That was the first time I'd ever seen kind of a Jeep Wrangler, and I remember just thinking it was so cool. There was a lot as a kid that I didn't like about the movie Clueless. I thought it was really, really, just shallow and weird. I don't know. As a kid, it wasn't my favorite movie, but I remember seeing that car and just thinking it was so awesome. And then I didn't really think about it much. I wasn't never really a car girl until I got with my husband, Aaron. If you guys know him, he's a major petrol head. It is all about the cars. He changes his cars like every 6 months. It's really, really annoying that he changes his car so often. But he's a major car guy. So a lot of our conversations, a lot of things, his family's all really into cars. So it became something that wasn't really at the forefront of my attention until I started dating him. We got together when I was just 16. So then cars became a big part of our life. And I think for a long time, I loved the idea of a Jeep. And I remember being, just before we had Eric, I was shopping for a new car. I had this little Astra. I got this zippy little Astra that I've talked about before as being the worst car I've ever owned. It taught me so many lessons about money. But I had this zippy little Astra that I loved, and I drove back to work, and it was a manual, and I drive through Chain of Ponds, which is a really, really wavy, turny road, and it was just so much fun to drive. But one day it locked up on the highway. I was doing 110, and the brakes just went on, and I nearly got completely killed by a truck. So after that fiasco, we were shopping for a new car. I was obviously I didn't really feel like driving. I was pretty scared of getting back in a car. There was no accident, no damage. The car managed to, once the brakes locked on, we managed to start the car and get off the highway. It's actually the day of our engagement party, which was pretty traumatic. I remember coming home from nearly dying in the highway, and the first thing I did, I just poured myself a vodka. That was all I, like, before I called anyone, before I did anything, I'm like, I need a drink. But yeah, so we were shopping for a new car, and I remember going to Aaron, like, I really would love a Jeep. And he had this thing in his head. I don't know, it was like part of the negative story that we collect as kids. Somewhere along the line, someone had told Aaron that Jeeps are shit cars, that they're just awful, they're expensive, they're just not good. So it was never on his radar. And I knew that he was going to be the person doing all the work on the car. He had to really be happy with what I was getting. So I was like, oh, I would love a Jeep. We had all this money from insurance to buy a new car, and I was like, oh, I'd love a Jeep. And he was just flat out no. Like, he wouldn't even enter the conversation in it. And this was like 7-8 years ago. Wouldn't even enter the conversation about a Jeep. So I really just put it in the back burner as like, well, that's never going to happen. He's never going to let me have a Jeep. It's not something he feels comfortable working on. So I just need to kind of suck it up. And he ended up buying me a Holden Commodore, and then we got a Territory, and then we got another Commodore. And I think I kind of just made myself forget about it. I put those dreams of driving my white Jeep Wrangler with the roof off just way behind. Like, I just stopped ever thinking about it. I told myself it wasn't going to happen, and I just I forgot about it, really. And once we joined the network marketing company that I was with, we started to kind of have to think about and start setting goals about what we really wanted again. And my husband obviously had a million. He's like, I want a boat, and I want dirt bikes, I want a jet ski, and I want this, and I want that. And I was just kind of like, I don't really know what I want. So when I didn't know what I wanted, I took on everyone else's goals. I looked around to other people that were doing what I was doing, and kind of like they were driving Audis and Porsches and BMWs and Bentleys and Lamborghinis. And I remember a particular person, we were having drinks after an event, and they'd bought like some really, really beautiful champagne for us all. And we're sitting around, and they were kind of like asking, like, what's your dream? What's your dream? What's your dream car? I think they narrowed it down because I didn't really have much else that I was like dreaming for. I was like, oh, I'd love some new boobs. But I was like, that's $6,000. I can actually like do that next week if I wanted to. So they're like, what do you dream? What do you dream? And I was like, oh, I'd love a little white Jeep Wrangler like Jessica Simpson has in Dukes of Hazzard. I just think they are the coolest car ever. And I remember this guy saying to me, he's like, that's a bullshit dream. You need to dream bigger. And I was like, oh. And he's like, well, you can get that car right now. So it's nothing to strive for. That's not a dream car. That's not something, people aren't going to look at you and go like, oh, I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that lifestyle. So it was once again someone telling me, oh, sorry, I've got a million notifications going off for people trying to book in spray tans. Busy time of year. Another person telling me that that wasn't big enough dream, that wasn't the right goal to have. So I was having people telling me you need to be looking for a Range Rover, a luxury car. You need to buy, or you need to desire a luxury car. So for a long time, once again, I was like, okay, well, I'm not dreaming big enough. I need to want the top of the range Range Rover. I need to drive a Bentley like these other people do. I need to have the Lamborghini and all that type of stuff. And it wasn't until this time last year, it was literally around this time last year, that I was driving my SS, I don't know what it is. I don't know. It was really noisy. It was my V8 and it was so noisy, and I love driving. It was so much fun to drive V8. But we were driving down the beach, weren't on the beach, obviously, because you can't drive a lowered Commodore on the beach. But we were driving around the beach, and I realized that this was Aaron's dream car. It wasn't mine. And as much as it was fun to drive, I had this big moment New Year's Eve last year. I wrote down all of the things I wanted to let go of in my life and all the things I wanted to call into my life. And the things I wanted to let go of was like toxic negative friendships, which definitely got out of my life this year. And I wanted to actually think about what I wanted, not what I should want, not someone else tells you should want this brand new fancy convertible car. You should want a beautiful new house in the suburbs. You should want XYZ. You should want a trip to Bali. Like I was taking everyone else's goals and I wasn't listening to what I actually wanted, because I don't actually want a ginormous beach house. I don't actually give two shits about driving some Audi or some luxury European car. Like I really didn't care. I have $1,200 Louboutin shoes sitting in my cupboard, the red bottom shoes. I have them. I don't wear them. I got them because I thought that that's, you reach a certain income bracket and suddenly you start wearing red bottom shoes because, you can afford it and you do it. And the reality was they're just fucking painful. They are the most uncomfortable shoes I have ever worn. And the fact is I don't wear them out because they are so bloody uncomfortable. These $1,200 shoes sit in my cupboard just for what? For absolutely what? I don't even, and I don't have the kids trash the boxes and all the certificates and everything. I don't even have all that anymore, so I can't even sell them on. So they're just sitting in my cupboard. But that was one example of something I got because everyone else told me I should have it. Do you guys have anything like that? Has that ever been something for you that people have expected you to buy a certain car or a house or wear certain types of clothes or want something that you just actually haven't really wanted? It's like buying a really beautiful house in a certain area because your mother-in-law tells you it's a great area for the kids to go to school, when in fact you'd rather live 20 minutes in the other direction, which is closer to something that you like. Ants everywhere, biting me on my legs. Oh, my legs are so smooth, by the way. How have I just discovered shaving gel? I did not know that existed until Aaron got given some for Christmas, but he doesn't use it because he uses electric shaver. And I was like, I'm going to give this a go. Life-changing. Shaving gel is amazing. So if you haven't tried that yet, hot tip, my legs are like marble. They are so smooth. I've got legs everywhere else, but my legs I still have to shave. Kids are coming outside. Anyway, so talking about the Jeep. So it was that New Year's last year, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even want all this shit that I'm striving to get. I don't even want it. I don't want a Range Rover. I'd still love some new tits. I don't want, pause due to poor connection, reconnecting. Hey, baby, what's up?
I don't know. Why are you taking a long time?
I'm taking a long time because this is what I do, baby.
I just want to do my activity.
We will do your activity after, okay? You can go and have some jats right now if you'd like. Do you want some jats?
I can have whatever I want.
Not whatever you want. I'm telling you can have some jats. Okay?
Yeah, no.
All right. You're going to have some jats, and then we'll do your activity after Mummy's finished, okay?
Take 16 more minutes.
16 more minutes. All right. You got sleep in your eyes still. Go on. That was Holly, everyone, in case you're wondering. So I'm just checking. Yes, certain suburbs. Tari says, yes, she's convinced to buy in certain suburbs because someone else says it's good. Yeah. So, I realized I was adopting everyone else's goals of, I was like, oh, I want to live at a beach house down in Brighton, and I want to drive a Range Rover, and I want to be able to travel the world in first class. And then I actually realized, I actually don't. I don't care about that at all. So the first step in manifesting my dream car was actually acknowledging that that's what I wanted, that I actually wanted this white Jeep Wrangler. I didn't want the $200,000 Range Rover. I didn't want the Audi or the Porsche. I didn't even want the car that I had. This beautiful, luxurious, sat-nav, leather, V8 car, but I couldn't drive where I wanted to drive. I couldn't go up the hills I wanted to go. I couldn't go into the forest with it. I couldn't go down on the beach. And that was just a massive moment for me where it's like, oh my God, I actually don't want any of this stuff on my Dreambird. And it wasn't like me playing small or like downgrading my vision. My vision is still huge for what I want to achieve in the world, but it was just like, I'm borrowing someone else's goals. So the first step to actually manifesting what you want, like I manifested my dream car, is to go, is this what I want? You need to be in totally alignment. All right, let me check just comments for a minute. Tari, I felt so much pressure to buy in a nice area, and to be honest, I live where I live. We all have family near us, and it works for us. Yeah, exactly. Like everyone's like, you got to buy in a nice area, or like where we live, there's certain areas that are probably a little bit nicer. There's certain estates that are really upmarket and stuff, and I'm like, I couldn't stand living in a state. I need to be out where I can see the horizon. I need to be able to see stuff. I also couldn't stand living down by the beach either. We have a holiday shack, which is great. Like I love being at the beach, but I don't want to live there. Anyway, okay, so let's get stuck into how I actually manifested my dream car. So first step was why I've been sharing this journey with you guys is to actually acknowledge that I wanted this car rather than something else. So to be really true to myself about what I wanted. And then the minute I realized that, it was like, okay, I really want this. Like, I don't want to spend another summer in a car where I can't drive down on the beach. And I also had to go, I don't want to spend another year or another purchase of an automobile letting my husband decide what I want or what I should have. Like, I have let him make a lot of decisions about our cars, about the things we do in life, because I don't think I had been confident in my decisions after that my first ever decision about a car was the one that locked up on the highway and nearly killed me, cost me a lot of money and nearly my life. And I think I was lacking a lot of confidence in decisions around that. So first I had to decide I wanted it. And then I had to say to Aaron, I really want this.
I need some help.
Where I'm Ninja. I was like, I really, really want this. There we go. Mother, are you taking a pen? Okay, I lied before when I said this was my pen. It's hers. I may have pinched it. Do you want it back?
You can have it.
I can have it for now. Okay, thank you. So first step was acknowledging that's what I wanted. And then I told Aaron, I'm like, I know. I was really honest with him, and I said, when we bought the last car, you were so excited. And I was happy to see you excited. I was excited for you, and I want you to be happy. But I was really angry inside because I felt like I was completely like pushed into something again that I didn't necessarily want. And because I love you so much and I want you to be so happy, I will always just be like, yes, dear, to make him happy, right? Because I love this man a ridiculous amount. So I was being honest with him that it's like, you know what, babe, the last few cars actually I haven't wanted, I haven't liked, they've not been what I want. And so the minute he was like, oh, she really wants this, he started doing some more research. Being the mechanic that he is, he's incredibly thorough. So he started doing a lot of research. He started watching a lot of, reviews, going into lots of forums. And then after about 3 months, it was like January, February, March, he actually, I caught him checking out Jeep things. You know how you can see on eBay? I don't know if you guys have a joint account with your husband and stuff, but you can see on eBay that, what your partner's been looking at, which is sometimes a good thing, sometimes not a good thing. It's hard to hide Christmas presents and birthday presents. I could see that he'd been checking out a lot of stuff about Jeep. So I was like, oh my gosh, maybe he's opening up to the idea. But in the meantime, in the 3 months from January, New Year's Eve, where I went, holy shit, this is what I actually want, and I'm not going to settle for anything less, and telling Aaron, I'm like, the next car I get is going to be this Jeep Wrangler. It's what I want. It's my dream car. I'm not settling for anything else. And also, I will not let you railroad me and try and update our cars without it being going to what I actually want. So having the conversation, those 3 months in between, he was starting to research and watch things and speak to other people and like, you know, I don't know, it's like the minute I said this is what I want, it's like his brain started opening up and like reticular, I don't know the word, something system in your brain. The minute you acknowledge and set an intention for something, we start becoming more aware of what we're looking for. He started actually looking around at Jeeps. He was doing research into it. He was, you know, he became more aware of it and what he was looking for essentially. So what I actually, then I started, as I was learning more about my own money mindset, I was going through all this law of attraction work with my clients, I was starting to implement things into my day-to-day life that directly related. Once I actually started implementing these practices, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, I think it took 20 days. Was it a week? 20 days. It was in a month. It was in a month of going, I want this car, and this is what I'm going to do to attract it into my life. And we actually got the car. So when I sat down, I had to get really specific. Aaron and I sat down and goes, exactly what do we want? And I was like, well, I want a white Jeep Wrangler. And I looked at all of the different models and I was like, I want this specific model that has, it's like got these different headlights and it's got like a 5th speaker in the back. I love my music and I like it loud. So it had a special sub in the back, which is kind of rare for in Australia for there to be this particular combination of like this year, this color, with this 5th speaker in the back in this model type of thing. But I was like, you know what? If I'm having my dream car, I'm having everything I want. So, and I kind of just decided that we would keep an eye out. And then when it came up, we would just make it happen no matter what. Like, this is what I'm holding out for. I'm not going to settle for less. I'm not going to settle for a red Jeep. I'm not going to settle for an orange Jeep. I'm not going to settle for the year that I don't want. Aaron was very specific about the year and the engine type after doing all the look into, like, he's a mechanic. So he's like, I want 2010. I want it petrol. I want this specific engine type, whatever it was. And, you know, I was like, it has to be white, has to come with a soft top, hard top, has to have this 5th speaker in the back. And there was a really, really specific steering wheel color option that I wanted, which is like, it's got the chrome rings around it. Because that's what I spent. What I did when I did my vision boards, like we set all the things that we wanted. We did lots of research into it. This is the exact car that I want. These are the kilometers that I want. This is the year that I want. I want it petrol. I want X, Y, Z. And then on my vision board, I kept printing photos of the Jeep steering wheel with these chrome rings, which is not common to get this particular year and the chrome rings as well. It was like kind of like an aftermarket option. I knew it was something that I could add on later if I wanted to. I could purchase it and get it put on. But I was like, you know what, this is what I want. And we had it all listed out, like these are the specifics. And then once we got the specifics, Aaron obviously kept an eye out. He was always on forums. He was looking around. So it was setting the intention of this is exactly what we want. And then it was following up with inspired action by actually looking, you know, registering, calling a couple of car yards, being like, this is exactly what we're looking for. If anything comes in, can you please let us know? Interestingly enough, the car yard that we bought our Jeep from, we'd already contacted them a couple of months prior and told a great young guy there. He was fantastic. I actually thought, I'm like, this guy's going to be amazing in sales one day. Like, had a really great connection with him. And we told him, this is exactly what we want. And we want to buy. So if this comes into your car yard, if you get this listed at all, please contact us. You don't even have to put it up. We'll probably buy it, right? So funny, that guy never contacted us. And we were driving past the car yard and saw the car, the white Jeep Wrangler, and there. I was like, oh, we should go and check that out. And we actually ended up buying it. And we dealt with another guy at the same car yard. Like, the original guy lost out on a $30,000 something sale because he didn't bother to email us. Like, dude, we're trying to help you get your commission, and he didn't do it. So anyway, that's completely other conversation about when you want to be sold to and people won't sell you. So annoying. But yeah, we listed everything out, and then I started collecting for a vision board, and I actually don't have it to share with you guys because I filed it and I can't find it. But it was just an A4 piece of paper, and I printed out all these pictures of white Jeep Wranglers. You can probably find them all over my Pinterest board if you're that interested to see them. But all these beautiful pictures are like on the beach, with the roof off, with the roof on. I just had all these pictures, and it was right next to my bed. So every night before I went to sleep and every morning when I woke up, I saw all these pictures So that was another step. So I had to set the intention first, do all the research, know exactly what I wanted. I mean, like, I knew that I wanted the carpet interior rather than the model up, which had the leather. I knew that I didn't want the sat nav because I had it before and found it pointless, and I always use Google Maps anyway, but I wanted the chrome rings around the steering wheel. It was all these little things. Like, I got so specific about exactly what I wanted. And then I knew, like, even if I got the car, I wanted to put this particular rims and wheels on. I wanted this particular bumper and bull bar. I wanted this added on. I wanted that added on. I lift the suspension 2 inches up. We actually ended up lifting it 4 inches up because we ordered the kit from the States, put it in, and then realized the original suspension had sagged 2 inches already. So we went and put a 2-inch kit in, and it went up 4 inches. So my car looks really badass and high now. But so we knew exactly what we wanted. I set the vision boards up. I also had a photo on my phone of the car that I wanted, was similar to the car that I wanted. And I like, this all sounds kind of crazy maybe for a lot of people, because sometimes people are like, oh, I want a little i30, and you can just go out and buy, there's like millions of them on secondhand pages, maybe not millions, thousands of them. But if you are looking for a white Jeep Wrangler, petrol, like the specific things that I had, Aaron and I were knowing that we would probably have to wait 6 months to a year, maybe 18 months for one to be available in Australia. That's how, like hen's teeth, right? These cars are, not that they're rare, but the specific things that I wanted was incredibly rare. You know, number one, to get a white Jeep Wrangler is just not common. People buy them, end up buying them brand new because they wait so long for them to come up secondhand. They just end up going and ordering one completely brand new. And that's what we were like, maybe we're going to have to do that, because we were like, you know, we just looking around like there's nothing secondhand. There's absolutely nothing. You can get black ones, you can get red ones, you can get green ones, you can get orange ones, you can get like the couple of years older or the couple of years newer, but exactly what we wanted, there was just nothing. So that's why I know that I like to go so specific that I manifested this exactly. I know that. And that's why I'm so confident in teaching my students and my clients about manifestation, because I know that this works. So I set the intention, created a vision board, put the photos on my phone. And the next step as well, we put out my car for sale. Now, anyone who was friends with us at that point knew that we had our car up for sale for 6 months, and it did not sell at all. But that was the step. Like, I had to put my car up for sale because I'm like, well, I had this faith and this belief. I'm getting my Jeep Wrangler. I'm getting this car. I had complete certainty. So it's like, you know, I can sell my other car because I know that I'm going to get this Jeep Wrangler. That's the faith and certainty that is the most important part. What I see time and time again that I work with my clients, when they're like, oh, I want to manifest this incredible relationship. I want to manifest this new car, but they're not actually taking the actual physical action to have a new relationship in their life. They have no space in their diary. They have no space in their home. They're not actually going out and meeting new people, or, they want to manifest a new car, but they haven't sold their old one yet to have the money or the space in their life to get the new one. You see, that's kind of like the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Sorry if it's weird for me looking from Instagram to Facebook. I'm just trying to cover both. Although I must note the filter on Instagram I like a lot more than the angle on Facebook. But so set the intention, vision board, put my car up for sale because it was like, all right, we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get some, new money into our life. The car did not sell. We had heaps of interest. I think people got tagged in over like 700 times or something. A bunch of people came to look at it. The problem was it was really, really noisy. It was a really, really loud V8 car. Like it was pretty awesome. And I love driving it, but everyone that came to look at it, people that wanted like a really clean Commodore like this, a family car, didn't want it so loud, which was okay. It was okay because when we actually ended up trading it for the Jeep, and they gave us a really, really great price on it. So it was like, okay, we had the car up for sale for 6 months. That was me setting the intention. This car needs to get out of the way so we have the money and the funds and the space to buy the new car. It didn't end up selling, but we ended up, you know, trading it for the Jeep. So it worked out completely fine. Anyway, like it was like at the time it was really, really frustrating. I'm like, why can't this fucking car sell? But it was waiting for something better. Like it was waiting for, you know, specifically to do that trade to get the Jeep, right? So if you're trying to manifest something right now and it's not coming, or you're, you know, being dicked around trying to sell something, or trying to move, trying to buy a new house, trying to find a rental, just know that you've don't have what you think you want right now, because something better is coming. That's always the case, every single time. So visualizing, vision board. I was also doing scripting at that point, which I still do, but being like the new year and everything, I was doing scripting about, like, I was picturing and I was writing down every day. I was spending like maybe just writing like just a couple of notes on a small piece of paper that I had next to my bed. Like, and this is what I was writing. I pull up to Eric's primary school in my white Jeep Wrangler, and the music is going and I have the roof off and the windows down, and I'm wearing, at the time, you've seen my sunglasses, like my big Quay sunglasses that have the mirrored reflections. I didn't have them, but I wanted them. That's another funny story of how I wanted them, and they were on sale like ridiculously cheap and I got them. But anyway, I visualize them. I drive my white Jeep Wrangler, my Quay sunnies, I have my neoprene handbag and my sandals. These are all things that I didn't have but that I kind of wanted. I pull up to school, I get out of my white Jeep Wrangler, the music's going, like I'm so happy, I feel so free and confident. I really feel like I'm, you know, I've always seen your car and your vehicle as a real expression of who you are. Probably like some people experience that through their fashion or whatever shoes they wear or how they do their hair, where they dye it bright pink and purple. For me, that expression has always been through my car. When I was driving cars, I didn't feel in alignment with, obviously because my husband's influence was really in purchasing. This is the first car where I get it in and out of it, and I feel 100% me. There's no like detachment or inconsistency in that whatsoever. So I was like, I would write this script and I would imagine this happening in my head, where I step out of my car and I walk Eric into school, and I would visualize like clicking, opening and locking my car, like turning it on. I would go through all these steps. And at the time when we were looking for Jeeps, we would go around to the car yards and I would just sit in any that I could. Funny story though, we actually found a white Jeep that was almost what we wanted. The years and the kilometers weren't right, and it was about 10K over what we were willing to pay. But at that point, it's like I sat in it and I really wanted it, and we were almost like willing to be sold to. Aaron and I were like, oh, I wonder if the guy's gonna like offer us finance. What can we do here? And he's just like, have a great day, guys, and walk back inside. We're like, did you not want to make any money today? We were open to being sold to, and he wasn't even. And we're like, oh, if you're gonna play hard to get, like a dickhead, and we left. But I would go around and sit in the cars, you know, I'd take pictures of the steering wheels that I wanted, and just really spend time just checking comments on Facebook again. Where's my mouse gone? Really spend my time visualizing how it would be to drive the car, to sit in it. I would picture being down the beach with the family and like sitting in the back of the Jeep having fish and chips, which by the way, we did the other day, and it was just like, I just sat there and burst into tears. I'm like, Aaron, it's real. Which is so silly, but it's not. Like, we didn't have a four-wheel drive last summer. I didn't have the Jeep last summer, and I spent all that summer like visualizing and trying to picture what it's going to be like when I finally did have it. So now I'm driving along the Jeep this summer, like literally 2 days ago, the roof off, beats cranked, my favorite song playing, kids in the back laughing because the wind's in their hair, just driving along going, oh my God, this is exactly what I want. It's exactly what I pictured this time last year, and now I'm living that reality. I might not have the new boobs that I pictured as well to go with it, but you know what, we're getting there. Slowly we're getting there. So yeah, I'd spend a lot of time visualizing what I wanted, scripting it, writing it out, like actually putting pen to paper, going, I arrive at school, I'm putting petrol in my car, just going through all these scenarios where it was to the point where I was like, there was no doubt in my mind that it wasn't going to happen. That makes sense. It was like, this is happening. I'm getting this car, whether I get the car this month or I get it in 6 months or I get it in 18 months time, I'm getting it. There was just no doubt in my mind whatsoever. I had that much faith and belief that it was going to happen. And it's funny how, like, once you put that intention out there, you'll I can never say the word. You guys know the word, the reactular processing system in your brain. The minute you identify like that something's important, it starts seeking out more things. You know, there would be the most mental things would come up. The amount of Jeeps that I saw around our community just skyrocketed. Aaron started making friends with people who had Jeeps. I started, attracting other people into my life. They're like, oh, I really like Jeeps too. And watching TV shows that were about it and finding it on Facebook, and really like got obsessed about it, really, I guess. Visualizing, scripting, vision board, that true belief that just this is happening no matter what. I am getting this. It is coming into my life. And I actually did what's called a 5 by 55 challenge. Well, 50. How does it go? 50 times 5. 50 times 5 challenge, like that. That's how I remember it. And essentially for 5 days, I wrote out 50 times each day for 5 days. I'm driving my white. I'm so grateful and happy now that I drive my white Jeep Wrangler, my dream car. I'm so happy and grateful now that I drive my dream car, my white Jeep Wrangler. I'm so happy and grateful. I wrote it over and over again, 50 times every day for 5 days. I wrote that, and I got a hand cramp, and everyone thought I was mental, like writing lines like you do in primary school when you get in trouble, but it worked. So 5 days I wrote that, and then for 2 days obviously I didn't, and I just still was really holding that belief. I think this was about 20 days from originally going and having the conversation with Aaron where it's like, okay, let's get one. Like, it actually entered the realm from something I wanted and something that he actively didn't want to something we both wanted. 20 days after that conversation, we bought our white Jeep. So we were keeping the vision open. It was just like, we're getting a white Jeep. Aaron, we'd done insurance quotes. We'd done everything. We had everything completely ready. All we were missing was the physical Jeep. The car was up for sale. Everything was ready to go. And we kind of was just keeping it, it's hair in my mouth, keeping it out there. We'd called car yards and let them know, hey, this is what we're looking for. None of them ever called us back. Oh, one did. One called to let us know they had a little 2-door red thing. I'm like, did you not read the email? White, 4-door. Like, we had specific things, right? Sorry, I've got some comments here. Just let me move my phone to check it. Reticular processing system. Thank you, Lydia. That's what I meant. Something like that. Where, yeah, you say something, you identify something as important and your brain finds more of it in reality. So, yeah, like, we were just dead set this was happening. And we kept saying, by next summer, by summer 2019, we're going to have this white Jeep and we're going to be driving down on the beach, having fish and chips, roof off. This is going to be our life. And it is. But we actually got the Jeep back in March, I think it was March. We were driving. We'd been in the city for a event with the network marketing business, I think. It was after that. We must have done something. I can't even remember what we were doing that day. Aaron and I were in the city. No, we had the kids with us too, so it mustn't have been a Herbalife event. I mean, a network marketing company event. Maybe we'd just gone into the city for the day. We were doing something. We were in the city for something. And as we were driving out along Main North Road, we'd been talking about it 5 minutes prior. I'm like, oh, babe, I can't wait. Because it was a nice day. I'm pretty sure it was a really nice day. I'm like, I can't wait to be driving down the beach with our Jeep this summer. Like, we just kept in the conversation. Like, there was no doubt. It was like, wasn't like, if we get a Jeep or one day we might get a Jeep. It's like, it is happening. Right? Just unwavering faith that it is happening. We were talking about it 5 minutes prior, driving down Main North Road, past the car yard, and we both just went, oh my God, there it is. Like, all the cars are there, and right up on like this big pedestal thing was 4-door white Jeep Wrangler. And we just kind of looked at each other, didn't have to say anything. And Aaron just pulled into the car yard. And we're like, let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. At this time, I should know, at this time, Sexy Selfish was very new. Very new. We're like 2 months into business, right? So I was making a couple of grand a month, but not enough to really be a viable business. It was, very much as I was getting out, I was putting back in. There was no leftover. Aaron was also out of work at this time. We were looking for it. We went into a car yard when Aaron he'd just been casually working for maybe 2 weeks, because as I stepped more into Sexy Selfish and stepped away from my network marketing company, our income dropped rapidly. And, quite dismally. So we had pretty much had no money coming in at that point. No real, not an abundance of money. We certainly didn't have money to go car shopping. We went in there, looked at it, and Aaron's like, holy shit, babe, this ticks all the boxes. It was the exact kilometers. It was the exact year. It was the petrol. It was the specific engine model that he wanted. It had the 5th speaker in the back. It had the soft top, hard top, everything that we wanted, even the chrome circles around the steering wheel. It had everything that I wanted, and I was a little bit shocked. In fact, I'm still like, it still gives me goosebumps thinking about it today. They literally wrote that list out, and within 20 days we had that exact list, when considering prior to that there had been nothing like that in Australia for a long time. And, it was one owner. This guy had bought it new, and the only reason he was getting another one, he was literally just upgrading to a newer model. So it was like he had the 2010 Jeep, and now he wanted, there's this new model coming to Australia called the TJ, what the fuck is it, TLT? I don't know, JL? I think it's a JL maybe. Aaron knows. He knows everything about Jeeps now. JL's coming. So that's what he wanted. But anyway, I'm rambling about it. So we went in there, and it was just like the most easiest thing. It was the easiest, most expansive experience. You know how buying a car is normally like fucking terrifying and stressful, and you're looking at a bunch of different cars and everything, just nothing ever works quite nicely, This was the most expansive, easiest thing ever. We literally looked in, took it for a drive, went, oh, this is nice. And they're like, have you got anything to trade? We're like, yeah, it's parked out here. They went and had a look for it. They took it for a drive while we waited in the waiting room. And they're like, yeah, we like that. We'd like to trade you for that. And then it was like bibbity bobbity boom about, was it like a day? Not even a day later. I think it was that afternoon. They're like, yeah, do you want this? And was like, we didn't have 20K sitting there to do, like, because we traded in the car and there was about 20,000 left over. We're like, we don't have the funds just sitting there. We can organize them, but it's probably going to be a few weeks. We're going to have to do this and move this around and move that around. And I was like, my husband's only working casually, so that's when it came up. The block came up. It was like, we're not going to get finance. And Aaron was really worried. He's like, we're not going to get finance. I'm like, Aaron, this is meant to happen. It's going to happen, and it's going to be easy and effortless and just be incredible. And it was. They made a couple of, I need to say the F word. Fuck, let's just say it anyway. They nearly made a couple of phone calls. That's what I was trying to say. They made a couple of phone calls. And because of my business and the type of work that I did, it all totally came under a particular type of loan that you can get with really low interest for businesses. I don't even know what type of, this is how easy and effortless and flow it's been. I don't even know what the loan's called. I think it's through St. George. I don't know. I pay it every month. I pay a little bit extra than I'm meant to. Like it was that easy. I didn't have to do anything. And then we didn't pick it up that day because they needed to fix something on it. They needed to do something on it. It was like airbags or something. Something needed to be fixed on it. And we didn't have the paperwork for our car, obviously. So we signed the paperwork. We were a little bit in shock, and we're just like, oh my God, how did that happen so easy? And obviously I had to go home and email a couple of documents to them from the business and my tax returns and stuff. But yeah, we were just driving through the city, saw the car. It took every single box. It was the easiest experience of my life because we were ready. We were so aligned and ready to bring that car into our life. And obviously the guy we were dealing with, not the original guy, by the way, that we'd messaged and said, hey, when you get one of these cars, we want to buy it. He has his own blocks and his own mindset that he never called us to say, hey, I have what you're looking for, come and get it. He obviously has his own stuff going on there that he never made the phone call. And we did see him after, and I was like, oh, how much commission did you just lose? And he's like, I'm too scared to calculate it. I was like, but the original guy we were working with, he was great. It turns out, it got even more freakily aligned that the time I'd spent in America in Napa Valley, he knew the family that had spent time with. He knew the family, like he knew my exchange family. And, he had daughters that were doctors and this and that worked at the same hospital as my sister. Like it was freakishly aligned that we just attracted the exact right person to sell us this car. And so we did. So we signed the paperwork, and 2 weeks later I drove home with my Jeep. And every single time I get in that car, I love it. I love it. And just like, this is my dream car. And it's funny how I've spent years, absolute years, every time I go anywhere, every time I drive, I'm always looking at like what cars mums get in and out of. I'm always looking at cars. I was always on car sales. I have not consciously looked at another car and thought, that'd be nice, or been looking around for something better since I got it. And that's really different for me. I think because every other time along the way, Aaron chose the car, it was really for his needs and wants. It wasn't what I wanted, that I still felt like I was looking for something. So I was always looking at cars, what other people drove, having conversations about it. And the minute I got this car, just all of that, I don't want anything else. And I don't think I'm going to ever want, I'm not going to say never, but I don't want anything else. Like I have my dream car, and slowly by surely we are adding all the extra little bits onto it. We have done the suspension, put a 2-inch lift in it. We manifested a set of tires for free. So the lift we ordered, that was a couple of grand, and then the tires we got for free. Aaron was just like looking around on the Facebook group, and he's like, you really need some new tires. These ones are too small for the car with the lift and everything. And he's like, oh, guys giving away all these Jeep tires for free. They've got some kilometers on them, but they're still all right for now. So we've got now like 10 months out of these tires. We're just about to order some new ones because they're getting a bit worn down. But yeah, free set of tires. And then not the best way to manifest a bull bar, but is kind of freaky once again, that we'd been speaking about it that morning before Aaron went off to do his CrossFit competition. I was looking at the front of my car and I'm like, oh, it's going to be so much better when we have a metal bar instead of plastic one. It's going to be so much better. And that day I hit someone in a car park. Obviously it was an accident, obviously unintentional, just complete fluke. And ended up having to get a brand new bull bar through insurance, which we only ended up having to pay the gap when we got the new bull bar that we wanted, the nice metal one. So it's been kind of freaky, to be honest. And that's why I wanted to share this with you guys, because I was driving down the beach just going, oh my God, a year ago, I sat down and started to dream and think about what I wanted, and driving down in my white Jeep Wrangler with the roof off, down on the beach, going swimming, and now we're setting intention. That's actually my life now. That actually happened. And it's just awesome. The kids love it. They love taking the roof off and driving around. Someone's coming outside again. We're setting the intention for like, all right, what do we want for next summer? And I'm like, you know what? I really want a paddleboard and a kayak on top, so we can go down the beach and do stand-up paddleboarding. That's my next vision for. What are you angry about?
It's already 12:30.
Is it 12:30? It's 11:40.
So I was telling you that time, and you have to be finished that time.
Am I finished now? Okay. I think we are finished anyway. Yeah? Do you like Mummy's Jeep?
Yes.
You like Mummy's Jeep? What's your favourite bit about the Jeep?
The front roof can go off and back roof can't yet.
No, the back roof can't yet because Mummy broke a clip. We need to get a new clip for it. Okay?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, that is kind of just a little bit of a background. The really important things, just to recap for you guys, visualization. So having a vision board and actually going through those mental pictures as well. Like if I couldn't get to sleep at night, I would start thinking and dreaming up those scenarios where I'd be driving my Jeep, and it wasn't about anyone else. Like I really didn't think, oh, what is everyone going to think of me driving this? Like I honestly just didn't give a
Let us get away.
yeah. Really just keep visualizing. Make it a part of your everyday practice. Maybe don't poke the computer with that. Maybe it's something you do when you pause at a stoplight anywhere. My mum always taught us to, when you stop at a stop sign or a stoplight, do 10 pelvic floor exercises. And I reckon that's why my pelvic floor is amazing now as an adult, and it's something I'll teach my daughter as well. But maybe you want to stop at stoplights, or when you get to work, spend 2 minutes just sitting in your car visualizing what you want. The scripting really helped as well. Was actually sitting down and writing in my journal, like, I drive my white Jeep Wrangler and it's amazing. Stop it. The vision board, and then unwavering faith. Making room for it in your life as well. So if you got a car to sell it. If you need to clean out space in your house, if you get the insurance quote, get this, shop online, window shop. Put it out there. Tell everyone, like, maybe it's not a car for you. Maybe you are, maybe you want to manifest a new rental property with a pool. Tell everyone, you're like, hey guys, we're looking for our next rental. We'd really love it with a pool. So keep an eye out. If you see anything, please let us know. And just put it out there that is what you want and that is what you're going to get. And then, unwavering faith.
Oh my Lord,
it's not saying like, if we get this, if I manifest this, if I manifest my dream car, it's going when. Like, this is happening. This is absolutely happening. I'm getting this. It is happening. And just not letting
humans poo.
Humans do poo. You're very funny. It's just so gross. Stop it. Stop doing my video. She wants me to finish. This is the difficult bit about school holidays now, is the fact that I don't get a second to do anything. Absolutely anything. They are with me 24/7, and that's difficult now to achieve anything of value and substance. And of course they want to be entertained, because she normally goes to daycare and Eric normally goes to school, so they're like, want activities and what are we going to do today, and like they want to be consistently entertained. I'm not good at that. I'm like, go play, use your imagination. I don't know. I got
kids to know how to poo if you know how to poo.
And we've just entered the phase where poos and farts and wheeze and bums are really funny, apparently. Okay, I'm going to go and get her some snacks. I hope you guys have got some value out of today's little chat.
I mean not snacks, my activity.
Oh, you want to do your painting activity?
Yeah.
Okay, get down. All right, I'm going to go do some painting with her, apparently. I have to.
And we have to do the
and
whole
I'll chat with you guys tomorrow. Bye. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this as well. Or
know how to cruise every side.
What is your dream car? I would love to know. And how are you feeling stuck when it comes to calling that into your life? Bye.